All right. According to this, we are live. So, welcome, live from the crossroads of America. A talk show about guns, politics, or anything else that crosses my mind. Answer questions from the audience. Just put them in the chat or email me at Rickslifeasiseeit at gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. We are broadcasting on gun channels and YouTube. I was working this out the other day. I've got, I think it's 217, I think it is, podcasts. And they're all on either Podbean, Stitcher, or iTunes. And it will be 218 when this one goes up within 24 hours of the show ending. So you can always listen over there. So, okay, let's see who we got in the chat. Jason Stewart was first. Then we got G-Webs. Sabrina's here. Mystic Guns is here. The Gun Snob is here. Raphael's here. Good to see you all. It really is. So New York Outcast is here. So let me introduce my esteemed panel. We have from the deer hide, or is that what they call them in Michigan, is Squib.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, then we got the Kingpin himself from Maryland.
Good morning, everybody. Afternoon. How is everyone?
Okay, then we got the one and only Patriot in the Dark. Come and talk to us, Patriot.
How you doing, everybody?
Okay, and just sneaking in last is the Blind Shooter. How you doing?
Greetings from communist New York.
Okay, and in the meantime, Midnight Range has joined us in the chat there. So there we go. Oh, guys, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and all that good stuff, or thumbs down. Either way, it all makes for what you call it on the analytics or whatever you want to call it. Is I don't really follow them much anyway, but I know when they done the purge, I lost 3 subs so far. So they must have been dead accounts. So anyway, real quick, why it's on my mind. It wasn't a topic, but I just wanted to mention it. Seeing Sabrina here, I see the Netherlands are dropping the use of the name Holland from their advertisement for tourism. Because I don't know about so much over here, but around Europe, I remember living in England, it was always known as Holland, not the Netherlands. Even though Holland is just a particular section of the Netherlands, but they're dropping it now because they want to promote the whole Netherlands. That's what I read this morning anyway. So I just wanted to say that. Unknown users here. Vanessa Kitty. So they're all joining in. That's good. So anyway, my first topic. I'm in a pretty good mood, but I said, has anybody got the Xmas blues? The Christmas is over, New Year's not here. Some people can't, are glad they're over. Other people kind of sad or they're bored because they're not working or something like that. I don't know. Midnight Rain said, Rick's life as I see it. Did you hear unknown user voted for Hillary? Oh, he started already. Yeah, Sabrina just typed in, yeah, that's what she heard. So, anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. So, is everybody feeling okay now Christmas is over? Still all bright and bushy-tailed, or are you all feeling down a little? Don't all jump in at once.
Well, I cleaned up my house already, so I don't have anything up. I might have missed a couple things, but my daughter comes back today, so yeah.
Okay.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
I won't be happy till April.
50 degrees.
Yeah, it's
I was
53
going
here
to say it was
today.
50 degrees on Christmas Day, and I was going to cook out, but I didn't.
Oh, Christmas Day here. Christmas Day here was 63. You know? So they're like, unknown users come back now and said, did you know that Midnight Range supported the bump stock ban? At least he's not picking on you this time, Patriot. You know?
Yeah? Give him time.
Yeah. Yeah. So how you feeling now that Christmas is over there, Kingpin? Glad it's all over and all that good stuff?
Yeah, I won't be happy till April. I hate the winter. I don't care about New Year's or Christmas or anything like that, but it sucks that it's cold.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't like it. I mean, the more years I spent up in Rhode Island, the more I dreaded winter coming. I really did. And when it came, I couldn't wait for it to be over. You know, mainly to do. I mean, a lot of that's being old. And I don't want to deal with it. Plus, being having arthritis, that cold made me ache even worse. Like today, it's 50 odd degrees out here today, but I looked at the long term forecast. It's going to, into January, February, it's going to be dropping down into the 30s and 20s and stuff like that. But luckily, hopefully, that will be it and it'll be over. Yeah. So that's what I'm hoping for anyway. So what about you, Blind Shooter?
What
You
about
glad?
me? I love the cold weather. The colder the better.
Oh, yeah?
See, I'm the one that's
Hey,
like
I'm surprised. I'm surprised, that you're such a nice person, considering New York City is being voted the what was it, the worst city in the country?
The rudest city in the
The
country.
rudest city in the country. That's it. Yeah. And I can believe that because I remember once going through what's the big airport there in New York?
We have two. We have LaGuardia and Kennedy.
It was much. Now this is going back a few years. I think it was LaGuardia, and I remember going through there, and I can't remember what I was doing. It was something, but I said hi to some guy, and he goes, "What's your goddamn problem?" Well, fuck you.
Yep, that sounds about right for New York.
Yeah. So I don't know if Squib could answer that question. He's glad Christmas is over, not because he's in his deer blind there hunting. So I don't.
This is the second time I've gone hunting this season, and this is fairly warm weather for Michigan this time of year. So it was last month. I'm not complaining about it.
No, when I was looking at when you had your camera on, I was expecting Michigan. I lived in Michigan when I was a little boy. I think I was 3 or 4 years old, and all I remember is the snow being deeper than I was tall. And there ain't no snow where you're at. So things are changing. Global warming is what it is. It's global warming. So, all right, let's get on here. I was mentioning this earlier. I've read an article today. I read it on the Fox News website, but the actual title of it is U.S. mass killings hit new high in 2019. There was 41 mass killings. 33 of them were mass shootings. Now, you got to bear in mind that this study or database was compiled by the Associated Press, USA Today, and Northeastern University. Right? And when you read down, when you start reading down, it's included gang violence in this and all this kind of stuff. You know, so it said firearms were the weapon in all but 8 of the mass killings. Other weapons included knives, axes, and at least twice when the perpetrators set a mobile home on fire, killing those inside. 9 mass shootings occurred in public places. Other mass killings occurred in homes, in the workplace, or at a bar. You know, making it sound like things are really bad. I mean, but it's even at that rate, the size of this country, I know people have died, and I'm not trying to make light of it. I'm really not. But out of the millions and millions of people in this country and stuff, and having 400 million guns supposedly out there in civilian hands, 41 is a very minute number if you look at it that way. You know, now don't get me wrong. I wish there wasn't any. You know, but I'm trying to think how to say it to make it sound right. That's the sort of it's not the price you pay for being free. That's not what I'm trying to say. But it's basically, you know, there's got to be a little bit of if everybody can have a gun, you know, there's got to be a little bit of danger there. You know what I'm saying? But I'd rather have that danger and not have a gun. You know.
What I would do is I would ask where those are located. If they had a map and they had little pinpoints where they were, because if there's a lot that's gang.
Oh, yeah. Now hang on. Let me look.
Concentrated area.
It doesn't have a map, but it does say where was. I think it was further down here. I think it did say, but the majority of them were. Hang on, where was it? I can't see it now. The map. Yeah, I mean, even here, I give them credit. They said these are still rare events. Clearly, the risk is low, but the fear is high. You know, the mass shootings this year included three in August in Texas and Dayton. What's called that? That really got the Democratic presidential candidates up in arms. You know. But it doesn't say. I mean, I could have sworn I read it somewhere that it said quite a few of them, or it might have been a different story I was reading. I was reading quite a bit this morning. Okay. They're talking. I can't. They're saying here that like I think the El Paso shooter was a felon anyway, so he shouldn't have had a gun to start with, or something like that. I mean, I'm glancing through this, reading. I don't like reading as I'm on air because I can't. I'm skimming through it trying to find stuff and I can't find it. But there's no map telling you exactly where they're all were. But it did. Okay, here you go. The 211 people killed in this year's cases is still eclipsed by the 224 victims in 2017, when the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history took place in Las Vegas. California, with some of the most strict gun laws in the country, had the most, with 8 such mass slayings. In one area was California. So then so they're spread out all over the country, but California's had the most. Not mass shootings, but mass killings. Yeah, you're right there, unknown user. I mean, we've said this, and I wish we're gonna have to say a Republican in the House or in the Senate when they're on these gun control bills would say some of this stuff. Pull out the facts. That like the number of people killed in other countries is a lot higher than what it is here. So Rich Wright says 41 mass shootings is a typical weekend in Chicago. It is. It is. But it's not the I didn't save it, but I read another article earlier this week where I think Chicago's the third worst city. I can't remember which the number one city was. Was it Maryland? I mean, Baltimore and Maryland. I can't remember, but I remember. Oh, we lost Blind Shooter for a little while there. Hope he comes back. Oh, John Brown Productions said in New Hampshire we have a typical heat wave. It's up to 24 degrees. Well, you're living up there in the north. What do you expect? You keep driving north where you're at, you'll be in Canada. Yeah. I lived up in Maine. I lived way up there on they call it Down East Maine. And it's it was cold. Now it was only I can't remember the name of the town now, but I wasn't that far from actually you could get to Canada. I mean, could you get to Portobello Island, which is Canada, which was only about a 30-minute drive from me. I used to go over there to play golf. Used to go through customs there, and they say, "What you got?" I said, "Golf clubs in the trunk. Go on by." So, but in the wintertime, I mean, it was a beautiful place if you're into winter sports. The snow everywhere and all that good stuff. But you had summer, you had winter, then you had summer, which was August. Then you had these humongous. Well, I wouldn't call them big, but and I was allergic to them, which is strange because I'm normally not allergic to anything. They had these tiny little black bugs that got everywhere, and when they bite you. And I would come up, my arms would swell up where they bit me so much. It was, but I lived there for what? Just under 2 years. Yeah. Because I actually was there for 2 winters. I arrived in a winter. So we went through that one. Then we had another one. Then I left the following spring or something like that. But up where I was, up that part of Maine, they tell me, I was reading somewhere, it's the forest up there is the most unpopulated this side of the Rocky Mountains in the Northeast. You could walk for 3 days up there and not see a soul. But, so if you're into that kind of stuff, that's the place to go. You see moose all the time up there. I used to have moose in my backyard, and moose don't have very good eyesight, so they will charge a human because they're not sure what it is. And so I remember the first time I made a cup of coffee. I opened my back door. I was going to walk out to go to my garage where I kept my vehicle. I opened there, stood on the deck because I was living in a double wide trailer at the time, and that was a good deal. I had this double wide trailer with a brick garage, and it was on 10 acres, and it had a trout stream running through it. And I got it all, and I rented it all for $375 a month. It was a steal, but there was nothing out there though. I mean, absolutely nothing. But anyway, I come walking out one morning, and there was a bull moose and a female between me and my garage. So all I done was I just turned around and walked back in. I waited for them to leave. I wasn't going to, mess with them. Yes, I did. I got that as one of my topics, unknown user, and that was going to be my next one. Um, main topic, Virginia. Is the governor of Virginia has requested an increase in the budget for the prisons for the arrests they're going to be making on gun control. Are they that blind? Are they living in their own world? They don't see what's going on. Yes, nothing's happened yet because they haven't been sworn in. But don't they? They are, from what stuff they're saying in some of these bills, they're being tyrannical. And doesn't anybody see it? Except for us? Are we the only ones that see it? So, talking about that.
So why do they?
Yeah, go on.
I was going to say, why do they need extra room in the prisons? I thought they were letting out the people that are in there to vote.
They need more. They need more funding for the more people they're going to have, because they're going to be arresting all these gun owners who refuse to hand over their guns. So they're increasing their budget to make sure they have enough money. Otherwise, they're going to need to hire more guards and pay more overtime to watch these hardened villains. So I guess that's what they're going to do.
So I don't know if it's true now, but has anyone heard about the ammo shortage in Virginia? Apparently all the stores are sold out.
Oh, yeah. That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, some people are saying that it's the gun owners buying up everything they can, and some other people are going around saying that it's the government that's conveniently taking all the ammunition so no one else can buy it.
I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised gun owners there have plenty of ammunition. But I know you were just talking about, we're talking about all the stuff that's going on. It sounds like as I said, it's almost like they want to create an open conflict down there in Virginia. I don't know. But did you guys listen to what's his name? Van Cleef on Guns and Gadgets podcast the other night? He's the head of the Virginia Citizens Defense League. He said that normally only about 1,000 people will be allowed inside the State House. He said they normally cut it off there, but he says he's expecting. He said he don't know how many people, but he said he reckons there's going to be at least 10,000 people, if not more, showing up. So we'll see. But he also stated on there, I know that's a controversial topic, that he said he's asking, he's not telling anybody, but he's asking not to carry a long gun. He said, because what happens, he said he's seen it before. He said, I'm only talking from experience. He says, what happens is they see a couple of people with their AR strapped across their backs, and the media's, talking to them. All of a sudden, somebody in the media sees the long guns. The whole lot of them shift and start taking pictures of the people with the long guns. And the narrative changes totally to what they're trying to do. I understand what he's saying. There's a time and place to show that kind of stuff. And that lobby day is not one of them. Now, the NRA is doing a thing on the 13th outside the State House of Virginia. Believe it or not. So, go by all means, show up there with your long guns. So, yeah, anybody got anything to say about it in the thing here?
My guess. Go ahead, Bob.
No, I was just going to say that if they're only allowing 1,000 people in the building, but they're estimating a good 10,000 showing up, where were those 10,000 people on Election Day?
Exactly. They sat on their ass.
I'm proud of what they're doing, but I still don't feel sorry for them because they allowed it to happen.
They did. But it should be the wake-up call for the rest of the country here. Local elections, you got to vote. local elections, plus the big elections. You should vote in all elections, even down to your town councils and all that kind of stuff. You should vote in those. That's where it starts. I mean, we could talk about this thing also, like people were saying, well, we need a third party or something, right? Well, that's how a third party is never going to win the presidential race by just throwing their hat in the ring and hoping to get somewhere. It's got to be started at grassroots, at your town level, then at your county level, then at your state level. It's got to be done that way through the country before a third party will be viable.
I got
I know. Yeah, real quick. I know you just said two things that the media focus on to paint the 2A community in a bad light is those who show up with long guns and those who show up waving a Confederate flag. I agree with you. But who was that was just going to say before I interrupted him?
That was Kingpin.
Okay, go on, Kingpin.
Oh no, I'm good. Go ahead, man.
All right,
Last shooter kind of covered what I was going to talk about.
I just had a question to throw out there. You had mentioned back when they were, pumping up the money for, the corrections and all that stuff, as far as for the prisons and that. What benefit do you see if, because it came up that, are they doing this on purpose to see if they could, start some kind of issue or something? What benefit do you see on their side if they did get something to start off in Virginia? Do you think they would point at it and say, see, look, we're just trying to do X, Y, Z, and these crazy people, so now we need it everywhere? Is that kind of the direction you think, or is there something else?
I think they're trying to. Well, Bloomberg wants his money's worth. That he's pumped millions into that state over the last few years. Right, so he wants his money's worth, and Blackface Northam is doing it, But yes, they're doing it. I think to see how far they can push it, and if they can push it and get away with it, right, then the rest of the United States will fall one after another. It'll be a domino effect. And so, personally, I got a feeling, if you have 10,000 people show up at the State House, saying, leave our guns alone and all this kind of stuff, and hopefully the moderate Democrats. Now, from what I understand and from what I was listening to Friday night on that podcast, was even the state Democrat House representatives and senators and all their aides, a big majority of them carry sidearms when they're inside the State House because it's allowed in Virginia. So hopefully there'll be some there that say you can't do this. As much as you want to, you cannot do this. But you don't know. They might have, because Bloomberg's, he's the Pied Piper, so he plays the tune and you got to follow it now. So they might all jump on the party line, and be damned with the consequences. What happens in 2 years? In 2 years, I think your fine Virginia will flip back. Will flip back red. I honestly believe that because, as you said, they just sat on their asses, and that's what made this thing happen. And I think it's woken them up, and I think now, in 2 years' time, when they vote again in Virginia, it will flip back. But a lot can happen in 2 years. And I think, personally, this is my own opinion. What in the hell do I know? But I got a feeling a lot of those gun controls, not all of them, but a lot of them are going to get passed. Then they're going to have to be fought in the court to say that they're unconstitutional, you know, and it all takes time and money. So in the meantime, while you're fighting these in the courts, and it says they're banning assault weapons, and the Virginia Citizens Defense League takes them to court, right? In the meantime, you're a felon until it gets to court. You know what I'm saying? Unless they can get an emergency injunction on it, you know. So I mean, and once a law is passed, it's hard to change it back. It really is. So I think it's one big push to see what they can get away with. You know? So that's my opinion anyway. Was there anybody else? You got any idea? What's your thoughts on it, Kingpin?
I mean, it's state laws are easy. They come and go. And that's why you need to pay attention to them the most. Federal laws, you're always going to have the TV stars in Washington, D.C. bickering back and forth. That's why it takes forever to get anything done up there. Because, you know, they're just there for the show. Where this person sitting in your town council, they're moving stuff through. And nobody's there to stop them. So you've got to pay attention to what's going on in your backyard more than you need to pay attention to what's going on the federal level.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's what I'm saying. It's down to grassroots. This is where you got to pay attention. You know? Oh, Jason Stewart just asked, is Squib hunting or hiding?
What would I be hiding from?
He's hiding from the deer that he's trying to shoot. So
The thing about these rallies, they never make a difference. And I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for saying that. And I don't mean that by they never make a difference because they're pointless or whatever. I think they're valid. I think they're good. I enjoy going to them. I enjoy hearing about people, you know, developing them. But if 1,000 people show up in Virginia, nothing is going to change. A rally is meant not to get the troops together, and if 5 people show up, that's good. We showed them that we're not crazy, and you know, we had our guns and made our speeches. They need thousands of people to show up. That's how things are going to get changed, because the left will listen to one person. If one person calls and complains and says that this show was offensive, you're going to get flagged, Rick. Then if you go over to CNN's page on YouTube, 10,000 people could flag it and nothing's going to happen. Now, if 1 million people flagged it, they might take that video down. But when you're standing up for what's right, you need large numbers of people supporting you. This 1,000 people showing up stuff's not going to happen, not going to do a darn thing in Virginia. And I'm not crapping on it. If 1,000 people show up, that's great. I'm planning on being one of those 1,000. But we need 10,000, 20,000.
From what I understand, that's the figure they're looking at.
They were looking at 10,000 people to show up in the D.C. rally, too. Nobody, all this talk about how many people are suspected to show up to a rally is like reading a political poll. It's all crap. It doesn't matter how many people you think are going to show up or said they were going to show up. It's how many people are standing there when it goes off.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping they all show up.
Well, this is critical mass. The Washington, D.C. rally was a good idea, and I'm not poo-pooing it because not 10,000 people didn't show up. I thought a good crowd showed up. I was proud to be there. I was proud to take place in it. But this is way different than what happened in Washington. What's happening in Virginia is critical mass. What we did in Washington was, hey, we're still here, and we want the D.C. government to know what's going on. And we're all going to fly back and drive back to 50 different states, and you'll never see us again. These people in Virginia know their counselors. They know their representatives. They know their senators and their judges and their police. They need to make sure that the community is not standing up for this. That's why it's so important for a large number of people to show up, which, once again, they should have showed up when they refused to listen to the testimony of the two women that accused Justin Fairfax of raping.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Oh, did you see that article this morning? Was it this morning? The Washington Post says that Blackface Northam, has done a great job changing, and given a second chance. He's changed things around, and he's been big with the black community there in Virginia. And what a great governor he's turned out to be. And all this.
The only reason they didn't get rid of Ralph Northam and Justin Fairfax, and I can't think of the AG's name right now. The reason they didn't clear the whole place out is because they're holding him hostage. And Ralph Northam said, if you forgive me and let this go and crush it in the media, I'll do absolutely anything you want. And they said, okay, fine, cool, because that's the only way you were going to leave here with your head still on. They could have destroyed that whole entire top-tier Virginia government in one day. And they chose not to, because now he'll do anything that they want. Not that he wasn't already a scumbag anyway, but now he'll do anything for anybody.
Yeah, you're right. Oh no, Kingpin was possessed by the Yankee Marshal. I think he's talking about when you were talking about the rallies, because that's what the Yankee Marshal said. They're a waste of time.
That's why I tend to end up talking so much, is because I say stuff like that and then I have to spend 5 minutes explaining what I mean, so I don't have torches in front of my house.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. So, anybody else got anything to say, or we can move on with a new topic? Oh,
I just throw in the part about the rallies too. I mean, there's obviously a bunch of different reasons to have a rally, but the networking and stuff like that comes with it. Obviously will help out at the next one when it has to be huge.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't get discouraged. Just show up.
Yeah. Oh, talking about it's unknown user was saying, we're talking about, it looks like the Virginia government wants to cause a conflict by some of the stuff they're saying. And he said the benefit of doing that is if they can get the gun owners to do something, then they can come say, look, the gun owners are violent and just wanted a chance to kill people with their guns.
So that's why I kind of threw that up there. I mean, if all it would take is one sort of Ruby Ridge kind of thing, and what would happen from that? What kind of benefits could they use from some situation where they just have to show crazy force against just some small little section? It's something to think about.
Yeah, it is. Unknown user says, why is it only leftists get caught doing blackface? Well, what can you say? The Democrats have always. You got to remember, the Democrats ruled the South from the very beginning. They didn't want them to have equal rights. I'm just saying. Don't yell at me. I'm just saying that's the way they used to be. When you think about it, and that's what I found strange. It was the Democrats who come up with all those other laws to try to stop black people from owning firearms. They tried to stop them from getting the vote. They tried to stop them from doing all this stuff. But the Democrats vote for them. I don't understand. A Republican sets you free.
Propaganda. Propaganda is the most powerful political tool. Propaganda is way more powerful than any nuclear weapon could ever be.
Yeah.
And they're masters at it.
Yeah. Oh, I know what. Yeah, you're right there. Anybody else got anything to say on that, or I'll move on to my next topic, which I think is pretty good. Okay, we'll move on. Washington State. Did you see a man sent a reply to the NRA Christmas tweet? You know, like saying Merry Christmas to all the NRA members out there or from the NRA. And this was the return tweet to that tweet was, guns don't kill people, people do. Guns just make it a lot easier. AR-15s make it super easy. The post continued, I just killed my whole family, and I couldn't have done it without a gun. I'm too much of a coward. A knife would have been way too hard. So thanks to everyone at the NRA. Well, the authorities backtracked that tweet, and it was in Washington State. They went to the guy's house. His wife was shot dead. His cat was shot dead. Their dog was shot dead. And they found him shot, but right now he's still alive in critical condition in the hospital. I'm thinking, damn, you know? So, of course, you know, I'm quite surprised that hasn't hit the headlines, to be honest with you. Big time.
See, my thoughts a little bit different, but I don't want to shy away from the fact that the AR-15 makes killing human beings efficient and easy. You know, this is hundreds of years worth of technological advancement to get to the firearms that we have now, or 100 years. I don't know how long, you know, and then gunpowder and the projectile and all that kind of stuff. If you're going to shoot me, please shoot me with an AR-15 and not a musket. Because that AR-15 might kill me right away, quickly. That musket is probably going to break a couple of my bones and leave me laying there for 2 or 3 hours suffering real bad. So what that these firearms are efficient at killing people? That's what they're designed to do, and I'm glad that they do it. Not that I want to kill anybody, but I'd rather have to, when I shoot a bad guy, I want him to go down and be done instead of lay there and scream and suffer.
If they were available during the Revolutionary War, they would have used them. You know? So, I agree with you. But what I'm just saying is that I'm quite surprised the anti-gunners hasn't picked up on that tweet and made it go viral. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, then there was that article. I'm trying to think who was it? No, it wasn't. It wasn't an article. It was what's her name on CNN? The man-looking one with the short black hair and glasses.
You talking MSNBC Rachel Maddow?
That's the one. Yeah, and she done a big thing the other day. She said if it wasn't for impeachment of Donald Trump, the big news would be the takedown of the NRA. The way the left has taken them down, you know, because they're not, with all the other stuff going on, they're not a political power anymore, and all this kind of stuff. I mean, she ain't far wrong. I don't think. I got an email this morning. I had a snail mail the other day, and I get an email this morning. You know, we've noticed that you haven't renewed your membership benefit yet. You know. You need to renew it, you know. All they're after is money, 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 you know. And I went to their website yesterday. Was it yesterday? So I was talking with Sean Ponnery on the chat during the day. And because we were saying with Virginia, where's the NRA in all of this? You know, but we found out they are doing something on the 13th at the state capitol of Virginia. But I was looking at their website, and it does mention stuff in what's going on in Virginia. Normally, if something big is going on, they'll have it there. Then they'll have a link, you know, where it will take you to an automatically pre-written email that you can send to all the senators and representatives in the Virginia government. No, the only buttons they got there for you to press is to donate money. You know.
Squib, if Squib could talk, he'd probably be a little bit more experienced. But my understanding of the NRA from the political side of things is until 2016, they were barely a blip on the radar. And even when you break down all the other political influences out there, the NRA was still just a blip on the radar. You know, they don't spend the ridiculous amounts of money like the left says that they do. They spent the most money ever, I believe, in the 2016 election.
Yes, that's what brought up to the headline.
They don't spend the amounts of money on politicians that the media says they do, that public perception says that they do. However, as far as being a blip on the radar, they're the only name brand out there. Nobody knows the other organizations. I'm not saying the other organizations don't do something valuable for the fight. I'm not saying they don't have the potential to become a household name on Capitol Hill or anywhere else. But the NRA is the big dog because they've been around since the late 19th century. And although what they do has changed, their mission or whatever you want to call it, or has branched out into more things, it's turned into something it probably was never meant to be. That notoriety benefits us. If they think that the NRA has the money and is spending the money and doing it, and they're the villains and they take the hit, I think that's good strategically for our side. Let the NRA take the flack while the other organizations go in there and handle things their way. So, but yeah, if you go to a politician and you say, "Hey, I'm a member of the 2AF," they're going to go, "What the hell is that?" If you say NRA, they'll go, "Oh crap," So take it for what it's worth.
Well, I was kind of referring to the other political organizations, such as the pharmaceutical companies, the oil companies, the plastics companies, the computer companies.
Oh yeah, it's lobbyists.
NRA
They're
lobbyists.
small fry.
Yeah, the NRA lobbyists do not spend the sort of money. Yeah, like the pharmaceutical, hell, the automotive, hell, the Teamsters, the unions. Yeah, you're right about that, David.
Oh yeah, I mean, then the only reason they became really a mainstream news name, the NRA, is because they came out and endorsed Donald Trump and put all that money in it. And the NRA voting block of 5 million, they would be voting for the president. And that's why it got the main. That's why it's big in the news all the time. But the end part. I mean, as it says here, the NRA is falling apart from within, not being taken down. You know, so we'll see. Rich.
Yeah, but they're going to take credit for it no matter what.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Rich White says the AR-15 is not a military rifle nor a weapon of war. It was made for civilians. You used to be able to buy them in the Sears and Roebuck catalog. The M16/M4 is the military rifle based on the AR-15. I'm not arguing that point, but no matter how you look at it, it was designed. I mean, a firearm is designed. I'm not saying people, but it is designed to kill. If you're using animals, use it for hunting. It's designed to kill an animal. That's what all firearms were designed for originally.
Well,
Yes, we use them for sports, target shooting, free gun competitions, and all that kind of stuff. But originally, they were designed to kill.
That's one of the things that we need to focus on as well, is taking our language back.
Yes.
And it goes back to the free speech thing, which I always say is the First Amendment is so much more important than the Second Amendment because it's so much more vulnerable. Allowing assault weapon to become the term that everyone uses, we need to change that somehow. We need to get our language back. All the different ways that they're corrupting our language and corrupting the meaning of words that have meant the same thing forever and ever. that's the battle that we need to fight. That's the focus we need to get on is stop allowing them to control the narrative.
Yes, you're right. I mean, like everybody, I mean, we say it as well in conversation because assault weapon, high capacity magazine, those they came up with those words and everybody uses them now. We need to take them back to what they are. You know, that's a standard magazine, you know, and I particularly don't like that term sporting rifle, you know, but I don't know what else would you call it? You know, so there we go. Anyway, moving on.
Well, sporting rifle is another way that we've tried to take back our language. You know, when we should just call it rifle. AR-15 rifle, bang. That's what I want. I want a rifle, and I want an AR-15. I'm not a sporter. I'm not a hunter. I don't want a paper gun. I want my AR-15. That's all I want. I don't need to call it a sporting rifle. But that's one step closer. Is not calling it an assault rifle, which it's not. You can call it a sporting rifle.
Yeah. You're right. It's just a rifle, as Rich White says. It is just a rifle. And that's what it should be called. But I understand where you're coming from. We can change the narrative to sporting rifle. Then eventually we can drop the word sport and just call it a rifle to what it actually is. You know? But that's long term. But we need to get the language back. We definitely do. You know? So. Oh, did you read that article? Which I found kind of good. I bet you he was choking and had a nasty taste in his mouth when he said it. But that dumbass Michael Moore, you know, he goes, how do you say it? The Midwest battleground, the battlegrounds in the Midwest. Trump support for Trump hasn't dropped 1 inch. And he's right. I mean, even here in Indiana, people who voted for Trump, they love Trump. They haven't wavered one little bit here in Indiana, not one. And I can understand that, you know. And so you got the East Coast and you got the West Coast. And for some known reason, the West Coast believes what they think and say is what the whole country believes. And the East Coast, especially D.C., is saying that they believe, those prima donnas believe what they say is what the rest of the country is thinking. And they are so totally wrong. And that's what screwed them up last time in 2016. And it's going to screw them up again this time. Yeah.
Well, I can't stand that guy anyway.
No. What, Donald Trump?
No, that Roger Moore says he's from Flint, but he's actually from Davison.
Yeah.
That asshole from Torch Lake.
You know.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Then he came out with the other day. I can't remember what he was saying now. It was something that because white people were racist or something or another. It's just. I mean, even Hallmark movies now are racist.
They're fascist.
Fascist. That's the word. That's right. Even Hallmark movies are fascist.
Yeah. When I think of Candace Cameron, I think of Mussolini right away.
Yeah. So there you go. What else we got here? Oh yeah, I mean another thing talking about politics. The Democrats are all up in arms now because Mitch McConnell has been working with the White House legal team over the impeachment, and they're saying that's not right. That shouldn't be done. but they done the exactly same thing when Clinton was being impeached. The Democrats were working with the legal office of the White House. I mean, it's okay for them to do stuff, but if the Republicans do it, it's totally wrong. You know?
Now, let me offer you an alternative headline. Mitch McConnell refuses to meet with Donald Trump during impeachment hearing. Republicans in Senate stonewall president during impeachment chaos. That's the headlines if Mitch McConnell wasn't in the White House meeting with the president. So, they're going to complain no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon and Donald Trump said hello to somebody. I can't believe that. He needs to be impeached.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and I was watching I think it was on Fox News. I was channel surfing and I just happened to come across it. And I heard one of those reporters, of course, it's all opinion. It's not news, but it's opinion, that the Democrats have set impeachment standards so low now, right? If Trump gets elected for another 4 years, they'll be impeaching him all the time. Instead of doing what the country needs. But personally, I think in 2020, the Democrats are going to lose the House. And it's going to go back to the Republicans. I really believe that. It's something that you said. I think it was you said it. I mean, and I've noticed it going out and about, as you said. I mean, what they paint is happening is not in this country. And I said here in Indiana, the support for Trump is the same or if not greater than it was in 2016. How can you not? I mean, as I said, unemployment's down. Taxes were cut. Yeah, okay, I know there were some people maybe it didn't benefit them, but that's very few when you look at the big stuff. I mean, what was this morning? What did it say? Big business has bought $1 trillion back into the United States already since Trump's done all these deregulations and shit.
It really depends on where you get your information. Obviously we had Christmas and family and all that stuff go on in the last week or so. A family member that was raised, right, conservative, parents, everybody.
Yeah.
There's always somebody in the family that falls and whatever. But it's just unbelievable the nonsense that was coming out the mouth. It's like where do you find this? Where do you believe that? Oh, yep, that's it. And so, depending on where they get their information, if they're just right up at the trough, that's where they're gonna be. So, this whole idea that there's tons of people out here, that's good, but there are people that are getting misinformation. That's why you really need to talk to people, even though it's hard. And some people, you'd rather bang your head in the car door than listen to it, but. You still need to, kind of listen and see what they're saying, because obviously if you hear what they're saying and there's multiple people here, saying the same thing, you really got to pay attention to why and what they stepped on or in. Well, I don't know. That's just my thing, because it happened this week and it messed with me for days afterwards. Just like, how could that be? But yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
There's always going to be loonies.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There is. I mean, I read the other day. Oh, go on. Whoever was talking.
No, I was just joking. I was just going to say, "Hey, midnight."
Oh,
also,
they were talking about. I mean, he's all. I think he's very right. Is like on Fox TV, Tucker Carlson. Right? His show the other night, I think it was either Thursday or Friday, right? Had, I can't remember how many million viewers, but it was more viewers than CNN and MSC, whatever that other channel is, the same time slots, than those two stations combined, he still had more viewers. So they're losing the left, the people who the propaganda the left is spewing out. They are losing viewers, big time. You know.
Well, I think it's because more people are waking up to the cause.
That's what I'm saying. You got to look at stuff critically and take your emotion out of it. I know a lot of times we like to say that the left works on emotions and we work on facts. Well, that's bull crap. You know, we're just as emotional as the left most of the time. But you look at a Trump rally and there's 50,000 people inside and 10,000 more outside. You look at a Bernie Sanders rally and there's 5,000 people there because AOC showed up. You look at a Joe Biden rally, the forerunner or front runner, and there's 200 people there. You know, so you gotta take your time and pull yourself away from the hustle and bustle of all these kinds of things, and look at them just strictly critical. And a lot of this stuff will make a whole lot of sense. Tucker Carlson's probably got the best show. Period. I watch Tucker every night. I like Tucker. The rest of Fox News can pretty much all go except for maybe Mark Levin. I like Jesse Waters because he's funny, but nobody's watching Fox News either. When you break down the population between what's on, just even what's on television at that time, you know, most of the time they're getting beat by some stupid movie that's coming on, and you see that CNN can't keep an audience. The walk away movement's out there. The facts from the 2000s, when you start putting all this stuff together, we outnumber these crazy people by leaps and bounds. And all we have to do is take our country back, take our language back, put up a fight, and don't back down anymore. That's what the problem is we back down for 30 years to all this nonsense. And it's time to stop. We got to go back to what our grandparents told us and said, you're going to regret this. No, you don't know what you're talking about, Grandpa. You're old. You know, you're not up with the times. And now look where we're at.
Yeah. I mean, I saw a thing the other day on my Facebook feed, and it said, don't raise your kids as you were raised, because it's not the same world out there. Right? The way I look at that is, yes, raise your kids the way you were raised. If you do it enough, then it will go back to the country it used to be. You know, that's the problem. I mean, we keep you know, turning the other cheek, and all they're doing is taking advantage.
Actually, I think that should say raise your kids like your great grandparents did. Because if this didn't just start this year, it didn't start 10 years ago. This has started back in the 60s and 70s when all this stuff started getting pushed. So, yeah, like your great grandparents raised you. Maybe give them more than just oatmeal, but you know, just saying. As far as the rules and morals and things like that, I do believe that. Yeah. Because I mean, my great grandparents, there was nobody in town. I mean, they were shunned if there was a cheating spouse or a divorce or a illegitimate kid and all this stuff. You can't have both ways. You can't say, things should be like it was back then, but it's okay to XYZ. So, and all this helicopter parent, participation trophies, that didn't just start. That started in the 80s when, Johnny boy can do anything he wants. Just set your mind to it. You can do it. No, you got to say, hey, you're going to fail. You're going to fall on your face. Yeah. Just get up and keep going. Yeah. Don't say that you're just going to be perfect at anything you want to do, because a lot of people aren't.
I remember, now I'm going back, see, now I'm an old guy. When I was in school, late 60s, early 70s, right? When I went out for sports, I made the football team because I was a big guy. I was a big kid. They wanted me on the offense line, because I was a big boy. But when it came to baseball, I got cut so many times it was unreal. You know, and you know what I'm saying? You didn't you just took the news, but then you went home and cried when nobody could see you. Then you went back out and your name got put back on the list in case somebody quit a team and they call you up and say, "Come and play for us." That's how it used to be when I was growing up.
Morality doesn't change. What was moral 10,000 years ago is still moral today. When you talk about the reality of things, and I'm not talking about, because a lot of people say, well, people had slaves 5,000 years ago and they thought that was moral. Well, no, they were just wrong 5,000 years ago. I don't care if that's the way things were then, they were wrong then. And that's why we don't do it now, because we've advanced and understand right and wrong doesn't change. If you grew up and did what you're told and never got into any trouble and enjoyed your life and were pleasant to people and had what would be considered a happy, successful life in the heart, then what's wrong with raising your kids that way? What's wrong with telling your kids that that's wrong? No, you can't. Or even worse, I can't. We got a bunch of parents who I know so many people like this. They're so pissed off at their parents for not getting them the toy that they give their kids everything, because they've got this false sense of this idea that I want to give my kids the life my parents couldn't give me, instead of appreciating the life that their parents gave them. And you don't. I don't know. I could go on forever, man. But right and wrong doesn't change.
Yeah, but back to what you said. Yes, I remember when I first got married and my first child came along. I had that mentality that my child was going to get everything, more than I got growing up. But I soon changed. I soon learned, as I was growing up as a father and and as a man, for lack of a better word, that I didn't know shit. My parents were were right. Another thing I've noticed here too is, as you said, kids get whatever they want today. I mean, I know it sounds stupid, but when I was working in the meat shop, the customer would come up. I'll have one pork chop. That's for Billy. I'll have a chicken breast. That's for Linda. I'll have a couple of hamburgers for Charlie. And I'm looking at him, and I'm looking at him. I said, "What are you doing?" She goes, "Oh, these are my kids. They all don't like the same thing. So they cook them a different. Everyone gets a different meal every meal time." I mean, that is bullshit. I'm a fat kid. I was a fat kid. I'm a fat guy now, right? My mother would cook dinner. If I didn't want it, I went without, or I went out and bought something. You know what I'm saying? And or I made myself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That was about the only difference meal I was going to get. And we're just, kids are spoiled today. And that's why it's like they are. As Rich Wright said here, if we raised our kids the way we were raised, the world wouldn't be full of a bunch of pussies. He's right. So.
You just got to focus on responsibility, personal responsibility.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I think that's has slid a little bit. I mean, I know there's a lot of great kids and a lot of great people. And I'm not, trying to throw a blanket over everything, but look at just pick anybody on TV or on the street.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not anybody, but
Yeah.
Well, I think it all comes down to social status too. I mean, I can't speak for other areas, but here in New York, where I live, if you go up the road, you have the rich upper class who, the kids have to have everything known to mankind, and they can't play the sport without Timmy and Susie getting a participation trophy. Whereas if you go down the road, it's the low income public housing, and Billy and Susie aren't getting a participation trophy, and it's like you were saying, Rick, you get what's on the table. If you don't eat, you starve.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's the
Let
thing.
me tell you a little something about participation trophies. I coached Little League soccer for like 12 years, and I coached Little League basketball for the same amount of time. And parents don't show up. I was basically a babysitter for those years. They drop their kids off at practice and bail. They drop their kids off at the game and bail. And then the parents that do stay all huddle up in some corner somewhere else and look at their phones and talk to each other during the whole game. So the participation trophy is just another way for the parent to say, look how special I am. It's narcissistic to the parent. It has nothing to do with hurting the kids' feelings. They're not trying to hurt their feelings, because I don't want to be told that my precious Johnny sucks. You can tell precious Johnny that he sucks and he might go find something that he likes to do, but you tell his mom that he sucks, and I've had to tell a bunch of parents that their kids aren't as great as they think they are, and they don't like it. The kids usually come right around to it and understand, hey, maybe I'm not the goalie. Maybe I'm not the center of the basketball team or the point guard. And then they find out where they are good, and they play there, and they enjoy themselves. The parents flip out about that stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like, I mean, I coached baseball for a couple of years, and every son's they're the best pitcher you're ever going to see, and some of them can't even throw a ball. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know where you're coming from on that. Oh, hang on, a quiz from last week. Oh, hey, it's nearly 4:15, and I haven't even done it yet. So let me get some high notes here. Now, a quiz for last week. Believe it or not, I broke the rules today, because as of lunchtime, Eastern time, 12 noon Eastern time, the only time zone that matters, I only had 2 entries. Let me have a look here. I only got 4 entries total. 2 came in after the deadline, so I accepted them just to balance it out a little bit. So you all got 25% chance of winning the swag pack from last week. So, and I thought most people would enter this because I thought it was a nice, easy question, right? And the question was, in Patriot in the Dark videos, in his closing credits, how many shots are fired? And the correct answer is 5. So,
Well, see, that's your problem. They have to watch my video.
Yeah, but I mean, all you got to do is click on your video, hit pause, put your mouse over the little red dot, slide it all the way to the end, and just watch the credits. It ain't that. It wasn't that difficult if you didn't want to watch the video. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. So let me hit my random picker here to see who the winner is. Let's see who we got. All right. A new guy. A new guy.
It's rigged.
He got Ken Rab. That's the title I got on the email.
That's Two Gun Kitty.
That's what?
Two Gun Kitty.
Okay. That's who won. Okay. I got to send him an email and get his mailing address. So.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah. Two Gun Kitty, you're a winner. Okay, now the question. Jason Stewart said it was rigged. Hey, you sent your email about 2 minutes before the goddamn show started, and I put you in. So I broke the rules for you, Jason. So, all right. Where are we going here? This week's question, and I've got stickers galore. I've got a keychain in here of some sort. I think there's 3 patches in here. So it's a nice package. Now, the question is, in the 1970 film Rio Lobo, starring John Wayne, what was this is an email, by the way, so don't put the answer in the chat. Starring John Wayne, what was the name of the leading female actor or actress, whichever you wish to call them? I want the character name and the real name of that person. So, in the film Rio Lobo, what was the name of the leading female actress or actor? However you want to be politically correct. I want to know what her character name was and her real name. Email me at Rickslifeasiseeit at gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. And get them into me by noon next Saturday. And
Is this like a movie or a TV show? What is it you're
Rio
saying?
Lobo is a John Wayne movie made in 1970. The reason I came up with it, I happened to watch it the other night on TV. I was up real late and it was on.
And it's called Rio Lobo?
Yeah, Rio Lobo.
Okay.
Yeah, made in 1970. Big movie. So that's the question. The leading female in that. Basically, so I want her character or screen name she was using and her real name or character name in the movie and what her real name is in real life. So there we go. Get that into me by noon next Saturday. Okay. And while I'm at it, I was going to do the cut of the week, and I'm trying to remember what it was I was going to do. I've forgotten. Oh, damn. What was I going to do? I can't remember. No, it's gone. It's gone. Shit. No. Nope. I might have to come back to that later. I can't remember what in the hell. Which female lead there could be considered 2 that would fit that category? You really think so?
You've got mail.
I would say the one that I would. Oh, hell. All right.
Supposed to get the one towards the top of the list.
Yes.
She's billed higher.
Put it this way. She showed up first in the movie. Let's put it that way. If you think there was 2 leading ladies, she was the one that showed up first in the movie.
Why am I not surprised that it's Rich causing trouble?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, so there we go. All right. Now I was doing my cut of the week. Damn. What was it going to be? I'm trying to remember.
Was it chicken?
No.
Was it beef?
No, I think it had to do with pork. I think
Was
it was going to.
it bacon?
What?
Are you taking requests?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so let's say I get lucky in the next hour and I'm able to bag a deer. I'm going to butcher it myself. I've heard that neck meat is actually good. How do you get any meat off the neck of an animal?
Well, I mean, neck meat is lean. I mean, you bone. I mean, what you do is you got to bone it out. Boning out a neck bone is very hard. It really is. Because the bone is such an awkward shape. once you get in there, because of the way the back neck bones and stuff interlock, it makes it harder. But what you do is you have to follow the bone. You cut on the back of the bone. You cut into it and just follow along the bone all the way around until you take them. You either can take each bone out individually, or you can take it out in one piece. It's easier to take it out in one piece. Just follow your knife along the bone. The tip of your knife, you can feel it takes experience, but you can feel where the bone goes, and you just take it out in one piece, and leave you the neck meat there. I mean, personally, myself, neck meat is lean. I would use it only for, like if you're going to make sausage, venison sausage or venison burgers, really, grinding it up. I wouldn't use it for. You can make sort of like cut it up into chunks to use like in a stew. It's very good for that, but I wouldn't roast it. Unless you're gonna sort of like pot roast it for for like all day, because it will be tough. So, hope that answered your question.
The advice. It did. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So that was my cut of the week. So there we go. All right. I lost my chat. Where is it? Oh, okay. Where are we at? So anyway, real quick before I was reading today. You remember? When was it? When those 9 Mormon people were shot in Mexico by the cartel or something? Mexico federal government just arrested the local police chief because he had something to do with it. So down there in Mexico, it is so corrupt. It is unreal.
I was just about to say, it doesn't surprise me that the police chief got busted.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised they had a federal agent who wasn't crooked himself. You know what I'm saying? But they've arrested him they didn't say what he done, but I would imagine it was for taking bribes or something. More likely he turned a blind eye to what was going on. He more likely knew that was going to happen. He more told, don't have any police out in that area, during so-and-so times, more than likely. I wouldn't be surprised. So, there we go. All right. What else was there? Oh, yeah. Also, I'm quite surprised we're not going to hear what's her name, that representative from Michigan. Is it Michigan she's from? The one, is it Michigan she's from? Or is it Minnesota?
Ilhan Omar?
Yeah.
She's Minnesota.
Okay. Yeah, I'm quite surprised. What I read in the news this morning, she's going to blame Trump for that. There was a truck bombing in Somalia, because that's the district she covers in Minnesota, is a bunch of Somalians. Isn't that what she says? She's a American Somalian or some shit,
Yeah, she's a refugee from Somalia.
Yeah.
At least her family. I'm not exactly sure.
The capital of Somalia, there was a truck bomb and killed 76 people. I think it was yesterday or the day before, and nobody's come forward to claim it, but from all indications, it was Al Qaeda. Is that how you pronounce it? Did it? Even though they've been taken out, they're not a powerhouse in that country anymore. They still have small fractions that will do damage, and that's where I was going at. I wouldn't be surprised by tomorrow morning, she's blaming Trump for that. Yeah. You know, Rich Wright says Somalia has been a shithole since the 80s. Yep, it's Trump's fault. Oh, yeah, it's going to be his fault. I know it. And she's going to be the one. It's either Trump's fault or it's Israeli's fault. One of the two with her, you know. Or it's going to be both of them because they're in cahoots together. So, I don't know. Anybody else got anything they want to talk about? Look up Joe Rogan's podcast with Ed Cauldron. His input on the Mexico situation is awesome. The Mormons has an American paradise in Mexico that they protected it from the cartel. You know, even John Z is in the house. You know, he gets an invitation. He gets an email every show to join in, but he's got so big now that I'm too small for him to join now. So just having to throw that out there, you know. So all right,
I got a question you could throw out there real quick.
Yeah,
I'm in the middle of doing some wood furniture for that AK. I'm refinishing it. I stripped it and it took everything off. You know, all the lacquer, as well as the painted band, the black stripe on the back.
Yeah.
Now I'm wondering if I repaint that black band with paint, is True Oil going to mess it up? Is it going to smear it? I mean, obviously wait until it's dry, but going over that with if I do use True Oil, or if I just skip back and go with the lacquer. What are you guys' suggestions?
I don't know.
Can you just mask it off and not get any oil on the painted spot?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, because it's just, you know, it's a 1-inch stripe at the stock.
I mean, is that?
I think the True Oil is you know, it. I don't know. I mean, it hardens or whatever into a finish, and you do it in layers. So I'm just, you know, I wouldn't want to have. I don't know.
I mean,
I just didn't know if it would.
Is that black stripe original to the wood?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think that the oil will mess up the paint. But if you say that you lay it on a thin surface and it dries and hardens, if you continue to put coats down, it's going to coat over top of the paint and make it look bad. Probably won't remove the paint or smear it or anything like that. But I would say, you know, have somebody help you mask it off and just don't get any on there.
Yeah. Originally, they obviously painted the black stripe on the wood. And then once that was done, they just lacquered everything. And so they coated it with lacquer. So, you know, obviously lacquer is, you know, clear-ish. And so it would show through. So that's kind of the way I'm leaning. But I did buy the that Birchwood Casey True Oil, and I was going to use that because I hadn't used it before. But so,
Talking about that, I don't know if it was your last video or the video before. You said at the top of the screen is X rifle, then the next rifle was this rifle. Well, we never saw
the top one was cut off.
Yeah, totally cut off.
Yeah, it's all right. But my video setup, it kind of went south. The batteries they wouldn't hold a charge, so that's why I haven't done anything in 2 weeks. But I did get a new and improved setup, so hopefully I'll test it out. But yeah, I figured that there was a lot of stuff to fit on there. So
yeah. Oh, unknown user says I wouldn't use True Oil. I would use clear poly.
The best thing for you to do is just pack it up nice and neatly and ship it to me, and I'll finish it for you and keep good care of it for you forever.
Oh, okay. I could possibly do that.
Yeah, but why
man.
would he want to send it to a sighted person when he could send it to his fellow blind buddy?
Well, you live in New York, man. They're definitely not. It's not getting sent to you. I can at least receive the parts.
Yeah, because this is a Romanian set, so the foregrip does have that little dongle, so it
Oh,
could
yeah.
be construed as a pistol grip.
Oh yeah, you'll be rated by
Which is
SWAT.
weird. It goes the wrong way to grab onto it. Nice.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now John C says use True Oil and a clear coat over that.
Yeah. What I'll probably do is use the lacquer because I like that idea because you can do the same thin layers, and then as it goes on, then use your steel wool and stuff to to buff it up, and then it'll go fill in any voids. But actually, the stock and everything is really clean. Feels nice. So I don't know. If I do it the original, it would be lacquer and all that fun stuff. But
Is whatever oil you're going to put on there going to change the color of the wood, or is it just going to dry clear?
it's that Birchwood KC True Oil.
I don't know what that
It's
means.
what everybody. Neither did I. It's basically what you do for old wood gun stocks, and I do believe it does change it a little bit, but I'm not sure. I just know that the more thin layers you put on there, the glossier it is, possibly.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's the one that everybody talks about, and so that's why I picked it up. Just figured that it would work, but
yeah, I stick to my original advice: mask off the black part and just work around it.
Yeah. Unknown user said they also make a matte poly that will not gloss over the black stripe.
Hmm.
Yeah.
yeah, because the wood itself is really light, from what I hear. It's a kind of a blonde wood because it's just the plywood. It's part put together. It's that wood from the G kit that G brought and dropped off. So anyway, I just figured get some ideas and kind of bounce it around because I've been itching to do it, and since it was 50 degrees, I was actually out in the workshop and I stripped it and got it all cleaned up, and so I'm just ready for the next part. But anyway,
Okay.
if you have any suggestions, just send it over to me, patriotinthedark@gmail.com.
All right. John Z said if it's Romanian, if it's illegal, it's welcome in New York. Don't even need to come in the legal way. Oh, we're not talking about people. Never mind. So, all right, guys, I'm going to wind this up. Call it quits. Go feed the cats. Sit down and watch the last 2 episodes of the 2nd season of Lost in Space. Did everybody watch the final episode of The Mandalorian on Friday? It was damn good.
I haven't watched any of them yet. I don't know if that's described, so I'm kind of holding on.
Baby Yoda done some good stuff in that one. So, but actually, it was. I don't know if anybody's watched it. A spoiler here. Towards the end, when they were saying this other Mandalorian woman says she's heard. She says she don't know where it comes from, but she's heard of that kind of power they have. It was an old sect called Jedis, and that's how it ended. So there you go. I just thought I'd throw that out there for a spoiler. Then the other night I watched because then Disney dropped The Last Jedi. So you got to watch it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a movie. It's not it's not the greatest, but it's not that bad. It's as for entertainment. If you're trying to follow the storyline, you can. it would upset certain people. But if it's just for entertainment, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I watched something on YouTube the other day. It was, he said, Star Wars, the whole Star Wars saga explained in 20 minutes or something. And I clicked on it to see what it said. But they started talking about the books, the comics, and that's how this is all lined up with this and that. But those books and comics weren't sanctioned by Lucas, so they don't count. The Star Wars are just the movie. So there we go. That's what I'm saying. In my opinion.
If you guys want to check out another one, it's called Mindhunter. It's on Netflix, that series. It's kind of, I don't know if it's supposed to be kind of a true drama thing or whatever, but it starts out in the 70s with the FBI trying to figure out about profiling. And it goes through a bunch of the people, interviewing and stuff. And
okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, well, John Z said, definitely not giving Disney money. Well, I believe it or not, I think I'm their oldest customer. I've been a Verizon customer for over 20 years on my cell phone. And I was with Verizon before they were Verizon. I think they were called Baby Bell or Total. I don't know. I think it was Total Bell was their actual business name in Connecticut or something like that. I can't remember exactly what they were called. But then they became Verizon. So I've been with them for over 20 years. They gave it to me free for a year. That's the only reason I'm watching Disney. Hey, come next year, I ain't paying for it. So. Oh, the books were all licensed until Disney said they weren't. Okay. All right. And there we go. All right. So have you got any shout outs or anything? Let's start with Squib. He's out there in his blind.
Everybody have a safe New Year.
All right. Hope you get a deer. Talk to you later. All right. Kingpin, anything?
Happy New Year, everybody that I won't see before then. Thanks for having me here.
All right. Oh, unknown user said the new Lost in Space show has been surprisingly good. Yes, I think this season was better than the first season. Or is that we've been waiting for 2 years to see it? It might make it seem better. I don't know. Anyway, Patriot, any shout outs or plugs?
I just hope everybody has a safe New Year's and talk to you guys all next decade.
Well, no, you won't.
You won't? Yeah.
Oh, yes. I'll be here New Year's Day, won't I?
Yeah.
That's right. Sorry, I thought I'd be here New Year's Eve. No, I will be here New Year's Day. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You're right. Sorry.
But I hope everybody just plays it safe and get involved, talk to people. And hello, Sabrina. I'm waving.
All right. Blind Shooter, anything?
Rick, thanks for having me. I always appreciate it. Everybody have a good New Year. Cause as much chaos as humanly possible. And stay tuned to my channel for the information on how to win the gun that I will be giving away in the new year.
Yes. Can you do that in New York?
I can send it to somebody's FFL. I just can't give it them in person.
Okay. All right. I'm quite surprised New York will even let you do that.
It's one of the few things they let us do.
Okay. All right. All right. I will say thank you for everybody for being here. I really do appreciate it. I will be here Wednesday evening for, surviving New Year's Eve with disabilities. So whether it'll be on disabilities or just a general chat while we're going through this holiday period, I don't know. But I will be here at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday, New Year's. So I want everybody to have a happy new year, and thank you all for being here. Let me sign out now. All right. See you, everybody.